Hey warriors. I want to I want to talk about something, and it has really deeply, I guess, deeply influenced, you know, mysticism, spirituality, early Christianity, esoteric traditions, uh, philosophy, even, modern consciousness conversations, it's called Neoplatonism, okay? A f- it's a philosophical system, and honestly, I don't know. The deeper you go into it, I guess, the more you realize how many modern spiritual ideas, I guess, echo concepts these philosophers were discussing nearly, I don't know, 2,000 years ago. Okay, so the core idea is reality flows outward from a single influenced, I'm sorry, a single unified source. Now, isn't that what we're all figuring out right now, anyways? I mean, seriously. That, you know, and, and I'm not trying to, please don't give me any shit for this video, okay? I'm not going against anybody. I'm just presenting an idea. That's all I'm doing. Maybe giving my opinion. So please don't bite my fucking head off for this shit, okay? It's not a human like God, I guess, sitting somewhere in the sky. And like I said, I'm not bashing anybody, but it's more of, an ultimate unity beyond separation. You know, uh they call it the one. You know what I'm talking about. The one was seen as beyond language, beyond form, beyond division, beyond individuality. It, pure source, I guess. Pure just unity. And according to Neoplatonism, everything in existence emerges from this source in layers. Okay? Almost like reality searching downward through levels of consciousness. You know, from unity to, mind to soul to, material reality itself. And I I really get worried when I talk about this kind of stuff because I don't want to hurt anybody. Um but it really, I have to look at, the fact that how much this does resemble modern conversations around consciousness, dimensions, you know, energetic layers, stuff like that, interconnectedness, and our awakening. But Neoplatonism wasn't really about escaping reality. And I know that a lot of people in awakening do get stuck in that. They do. We've seen it happen. But, it was about remembering your connection to the source, underneath any separation. That's 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 awesome. You know what I mean? Because I mean, and according to this philosophy, suffering, largely, I guess, comes from you identifying with fragmentation. the more conscious, I guess, the more consciousness becomes trapped purely in, our egos, or our material obsessions, separation, identity, all these fucking illusions, the further it feels from unity, obviously. I mean, you know, obviously, you can see the echoes, I guess, of this idea everywhere right now. Can you not? People feel disconnected, from themselves, from each other, from meaning, from nature, from spirit, from their purpose. Maybe, I guess, maybe that's why so many people are searching again. I mean, not just for damn information, but for reconnection. Because what we've been doing is not natural, you know? But again, I'm not presenting Neoplatonism as absolute truth. Not for everybody. Maybe it is for me, but I'm not saying that I'm not open to other ideas. I'm not saying that. But I do think it's awesome, that ancient philosophers were already exploring ideas like, consciousness layers, reality beyond, the physical. And like, I don't know, these illusions of, separateness. I don't know. I just think that it's really cool that you can look back and see what we're seeing now way back then, you know? And what's funny is that was long before social media spirituality existed. I don't know. One of the most, I guess, powerful ideas in in Neoplatonism is, the goal is not becoming, it's not become something you were never meant to be. It's remembering what you already are underneath the fragmentation, not adding, just remembering. Which is interesting because that same theme is appearing across, mysticism, freaking meditation traditions, consciousness work, our spiritual awakening, and even psychology, that idea that beneath conditioning, our fear, our ego, and our identities, that there is something deeper trying to return to wholeness. I don't understand why more people aren't just absolutely fascinated. Like, when I think about these things or research them, I feel like I'm going home. I feel like I'm closer to something real. I don't know. Maybe that's why these ancient teachings, maybe that's why they're still resonating now, because humanity is still asking those same damn questions. Who are we? Why are we here? You know, and what exists underneath the illusion that we have of separation? I'm sorry. But sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie, I know we're not supposed to feel like this, but come on, we're in human bodies and sometimes we do. I feel like we're a fucking bunch of geniuses because we figured this out. We have figured it out, dude. That's my opinion. Go against it all day long. I don't care. I love you, no matter what you think of me.